What is going on, everybody? It's me, the Keenan. Today we're back with another episode of the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD Platinum walkthrough, and in today's episode, guys, I'm bringing you the very first Kingdom Hearts Final Mix guide, and as you can tell from the title of this video, it's going to be the Synthesis guide. Now, Synthesis is probably going to be the most time-consuming thing that you're going to have to do in Kingdom Hearts 1 in order to get the Platinum Trophy, which is why I've decided to release this as our first guide. Now, before we jump into the video, there are a few things that I need to go over, that are things that you need to have done and things that you need to get before you start synthesizing. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to make sure you have is Iroga. Not Aurora, not Aero, it has to be Iroga. It has to be the third and final form, as Iroga does a lot of specific things that lower tiers of Aero do not do. So, in order to get Iroga, you need to do three things. First of all, you need to seal the keyhole in Traverse Town to get one stage of Aero. Then you need to activate the Yellow Trinity in Neverland to get another stage. And for the final stage, you're going to need to collect all 99 Dalmatian puppies. Now, don't worry if you haven't done these things yet, as I should be getting out a Trinity guide and a Dalmatian guide out very, very shortly. But yeah, once again, Iroga is very, very important. The second thing you're going to need is Encounter Plus. Now, in order to get this ability, you actually need to have synthesized 15 items, so there's no possible way of having it at the beginning of your synthesizing. Now, what Encounter Plus does is it allows you to make Heartless respawn by just exiting and re-entering the room, whereas usually you would have to walk 2 rooms away and then come back. Next, you're going to want to equip as many Lucky Strikes as possible, and not just on Sora but on Donald and Goofy too, as this ability increases the chance of an item dropping, so it's not super important, just make sure you have as many equipped as possible. Now, for one item in particular, you're also going to want to make sure you have the Bambi summon, which you can get by completing the first torn page of 100 Acre Wood. Why you want it, I'll actually get into a little bit later on when we get to that particular item. And lastly, guys, I need to explain how soft resetting works and what it actually does. So if you already know those things, then you can just skip ahead in the video. Now, soft resetting is when you go from in-game to the title screen without having to close application or turn off your console. And you do this by pressing L1, R1, start and the touchpad. Now, the reason you're going to want to do this is because it resets your RNG, meaning that if you're trying to get a rare Heartless and it's just not spawning, you can soft reset and it should appear within the first few attempts. So it is actually very, very useful. Alright, now that that is out of the way, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so the first Final Mix exclusive Heartless we're going to be looking at are these Sniper Wilds. Now, those are these pink monkeys you can see on screen right now, or we're just on screen right now, and they are located in the 2nd district of Traverse Town. Now, as you saw when I rolled forwards after entering this room, no Heartless spawned, so I knew that they were here and we were ready to go. Now, they drop Power Stones, and you're going to need a grand total of 5 Power Stones to complete everything you need regarding Synthesis. I have 2 big tips for doing these guys, which is tip number 1 is to be patient. If you just rush in there, you are going to die. It is not going to go well and you're going to have to try again. My second big tip is to customize your magic so that stop is shortcutted really easily. As you can see there, it's on triangle. Very, very quick for me to do. Now, what you need to do to defeat these is you need to go up close to them, cast stop, and then kill them as quickly as possible. If you get spotted, leave immediately because you have fouled and you cannot do it. It just will not work. Now, how they work is when you come in, there will be a Sniper Wild. Once you kill that, 2 will spawn. And once you kill those 2, these 3 will spawn that you can see on screen right now. Once you kill those 3, you will get your Power Stone. So you actually need to kill 6 just to get 1 Power Stone. So that's 30 Sniper Wilds you need to kill just to complete your synthesis materials. One last thing I need to say before we move on is that once you kill your 6 and you get your Power Stone, another one will spawn and it will essentially loop. You can, I suppose, go for that second loop. I have personally been unsuccessful every time I've tried it, but you never know, you might be good at it. I would recommend not doing that, but here we go. Next up is the Giga Shadows. Now, Giga Shadows are located in Wonderland in the Bazaar Room. When you enter the Bazaar Room, if your command deck, I think it's called, the command board thing, is red, it means you've done it correctly. If it's blue, leave and come back. Now, What they drop is Fury Stones, and you're going to need a grand total of 5 of these yet again to complete your synthesis. How it works is when you walk in, there will be a wave of shadows. Kill them, another wave, kill them, another wave, so that's 3 waves. And then once you kill the 3rd wave, the Giga Shadows will appear, and you'll have to kill those. However, if they hit you, they will run away and you won't get your Fury Stones. So what you can do to counter this is, as you can see, I've thrown up Eroga. Again, I think you need Eroga. I don't think Aurora will work. But if you get hit with Eroga, they won't run away. It doesn't count. Another good tactic is to jump on this chair, because they'll all swarm towards you, and Strike Raid will kill them very quickly. Another good thing to note is that they can also drop Lucid Shards. So if you do need Lucid Shards, if you haven't done your Lucid Shard farming, which is what regular shadows drop, they can indeed drop those, as you can see right there, and there's our Fury Stone. Okay, so up next we have the Black Ballads. Now, Black Ballads will drop Lightning Stones, and you're going to need a grand total of 5 Lightning Stones. They are located in the bamboo thicket of the deep jungle, and the main idea is it's the classic follow the cup minigame. Collect the right one enough times and you will win your Lightning Stone. Now, as you can see there, they can actually drop Lightning Stones without killing them. However, this is very, very, very rare. But, you know, it can happen. So the main gist of this is to pause buffer, which is what I'm doing right now. And pause buffering will allow you to follow it very, very easily. However, if you do pause buffer, make sure you do not stand too close, because they will fly off screen and you will lose it. And if you stand too far away, it'll give you the classic Aloo pause menu with Sora, Donald and Goofy and all their stats and everything, and it'll get in your face and you won't be able to follow it anymore, and it'll really piss you off. Another key point is to make sure you use a small Keyblade, like the Kingdom Key I have here, and not a big Keyblade like, say, the Ultima weapon, or One Winged Angel, or whatever. And that you don't have Aerial Sweep on. This is because if you do have these two things, you may actually end up hitting the wrong one that you didn't mean to target, which can obviously screw you up and completely wreck you as far as getting your Lightning Stone is concerned. And I might have to do it all over again, which is not very ideal, because I do find this to be the most challenging special Kingdom Hearts final mixed exclusive Heartless in the game. But here we are, I think we're almost done. Oh, we are done. There's our Lightning Stone. Okay, up next are the Pot Scorpions, which are located in the Agrabah. I think they're called the Palace, or the Palace Gates. They drop Mythril Stones, and you're going to need a grand total of 8 of them. Thankfully, they are actually, well, I would say that they're either really difficult or really easy, depending on if you have Eroga. Again, Eroga is a beast, an absolute beast for defeating these Pot Scorpions. Now, what you're going to do is when you come here, you'll see a bunch of pots, and you want to walk into them. If they move, it is not the Pot Scorpion. If it doesn't move, I'm not sure which one it is in this one. If it doesn't move, they are, well, that is the Pot Scorpion. I think it's that second one. Yeah, so this one, if I walk into it, it won't move, and therefore it's the Pot Scorpion. Smash all the other ones first, and then fight this one. So what you need to do is you need to counter its attack so that it falls back on itself, and then you can actually hit it. If you try to hit it now, it just won't do anything. Again, Eroga is very, very good because he will automatically counter it. As you can see, he got knocked back, and now we can hit him and defeat him. These, all in all, aren't too difficult. They do poison the floor, as you can see, but not really that bad. If you have Eroga, it basically makes this a cakewalk. Not much to say about it other than this. Now, obviously, you can do it without Eroga. You can use Guard, and that's about it. Or you can try and hit its claws as it tries to hit you, or its tail as it tries to hit you. If you get the timing down, again, shouldn't be too difficult if you learn the timing. But Eroga is just so much easier. You literally just have to stand there and get hit, and then run up to it and smack it a bunch of times, and it should drop you the wonderful Mythril Stone. So I actually quite like farming those ones. Okay, up next is the Grand Ghost. Now, these are located in Monstro, in what I believe is called the Throat. It's where you fight the final boss of Monstro. They drop Frost Stones, and you're going to need a grand total of 5. to synthesize everything you need to. The way you defeat them is you need to use an item on them, a lot like the flowers in the Lotus Forest in Wonderland. If you use them, they do different things for you. You just need to use them on this, use different items on this, and it'll deplete its health. I recommend high potions. You can use ethers. Ethers will stun them, but it will do very little damage, so I wouldn't recommend those. If you run out of potions and stuff, you can hit them like you would a normal Heartless, and they will actually drop potions, as you can see there. I think Eroga's doing it automatically from Donald. And they basically always spawn. I've never really had a problem with making them spawn. But all in all, very easy, not too difficult. Let's wrap this up and get our Frost Stone. There we go. Okay, up next is the Chimera, which is located at Oogie's mansion in Halloween Town. Now, what you need to do is you need to jump down here, and as you can see, that wall is clear. If there's a red Trinity, that means he is not there. If there's not a red Trinity, he is there. So that's what we're looking for. As you can see, there isn't a red Trinity, so that means we're okay. What you need to do is fight these White Knights, and I think there's a couple of air soldiers and stuff about. Kill them, and then he'll spawn. Now, he drops Blazing Stones, and you're going to need a grand total of 7 of them to synthesize everything you need to. Now, for this, again, I recommend Eroga. I'm pretty sure his gimmick is that once you defeat his health, he'll throw out these 3 coloured orbs, and his real health will be revealed. And I think you need to knock his orbs back into him in order to do like massive damage or something. To be honest, I'm not really sure. All I did was spam Eroga and then just keep attacking him, wail on him time and time again until he went down. Generally not too difficult, can be a bit time consuming. Again, Eroga, very, very useful. As you can see, I'm just spamming attack on him. Not really much to it. Making sure I put out my Eroga whenever it goes down. He can summon those, I think they're air soldiers they were. They might have been. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're air soldiers. Okay, so up next are the jet balloons that are located on the ship deck of Neverland. They drop Dazzling Stone, so you're going to need a grand total of 6 to completely synthesize everything you need to. Again, Eroga is very, very key, because what he'll do is he'll shoot these screwdriver Heartless at you, and if they hit you and you don't have Eroga, you will drop a ton of money. Other than that, he's very simple. Be warned, if you kill him above the sea, he will actually drop his Dazzling Stones into the sea. So make sure, what I would recommend is that you stop him whilst he's above the ship like he is now, kill him then, and then you don't have to worry about them falling into the sea. Easy. Up next we have the Stealth Soldiers from Hollow Bastion, the place where you fight Riku. I don't know what it's called, that's what I'm calling it. Now, they are actually invisible, and the way you know if they've appeared is that when you drop down here, there will be 1 large body. If there are 2 large bodies, it is not here. If there's 1, it is here. We are good to go. They drop energy stones, and you're going to need a grand total of 6 of them to synthesize everything you need to. As you can see, they're invisible, but if you stop them, they will appear. You'll actually see them as the soldiers they are. And if you kill them, or not kill them, if you do enough damage to them, they will appear as well. I know for sure that 2 appear, that one and the one I'm going to fight in a second. However, I believe I've been told that there are 3, but I don't know where the last one is. Other than that, there's not really a lot to do. Stop is very useful. Eroga, again, always useful. But other than that, there's just normal Heartless. Their main gimmick is that they're invisible, to be honest. Okay, up next are the Neo Shadows. Now, if you've ever played Kingdom Hearts 2, you will definitely recognise these guys. Now, they drop Stormy Stones, and you're going to need a grand total of 4 to completely synthesize everything you need to. They are located in this final area, just before the final rest in the end of the world. I almost said the world that never was. That's a completely different game. Coincidentally, they do appear there, but besides the point, they hit really hard. So again, wouldn't you know it, Eroga, very important. Apart from that, they they tend to like fall into the ground like normal shadows and then come up. I've tried to get them as soon as they come up. I find that to be the easiest point to hit them. They also do that weird spinning attack, which is very difficult to deal with. So I recommend you wait until, well, you just wail on them whenever you can, and then you wait for this move that's coming up sometime soon. This, when they pop out, I find that to be a very vulnerable position for them, and you can wail on them and get your Stormy Stone, job done. Okay, so next up we have the pink Agaricuses, and they drop Serenity Powers, of which we're going to need 7. Important notes for this is that you need to have as many air combo pluses on as possible. You need to make sure you have Ragnarok on and you don't have any other special attacks. You don't want Strike Raid or Sonic Blade or anything like that. You also want to equip whatever you can to boost your MP as much as possible. So make sure you have the most MP boosting Keyblade you have. Here I have the ultimate weapon, for something like Lady Luck or Oathkeeper or Diamond Dust will do. And then obviously your rest of your equipment should also boost your MP as much as possible. As well as this, you also want to make sure that you have both Stop and Eroga shortcutted to your quick magic spells, as I do here. Now once you enter the treehouse, there are going to be 3 white mushrooms that you're going to need to cast Stop on. Once you cast Stop on one of them, they're going to jump around and give you a lot of MP. Once you've done all 3 of them, the pink Agarigus will spawn and you can have your chance to get your Serenity Power. Now that is where the first one will always spawn. If one is not spawned there, it means you have not got it and you need to leave and come back and try again for your pink Agaricus. Now the second one usually spawns on the boat, not guaranteed, but this is probably the most common place for it to spawn. As for the third one, it can spawn in multiple different locations. Up here is where I tend to get the where it tends to appear the most for me. If not, it can spawn on the beams above us, which I'm going to show you later. I'm not sure if it can spawn around the side here, but it very well may do. So if you can't find it, look here, and it might be there. I am not sure if it can actually spawn out here, but it very well may do, so make sure you check there if you can't find it. Another common place for it to spawn is right here. This is I usually get it in one of 3 places, where I showed you at the beginning, that place, and then on the beams, which I'm about to show you right now. So right up here, out there, on the second cross where the 2 beams overlap, right here is where I usually find my third white mushroom. However, this is where I got it. It's the first time I've ever had one here, so I was not actually expecting it to be there. All you do is fall down and cast Stop, it doesn't really matter. Now, the pink Agarigus is going to spawn any second now. There it is, I just saw it. And what you're going to need to do is make sure you have as much MP as possible. Well, you don't need full MP, but you are going to use a lot of MP. What you're going to want to do is target it, more specifically its head. Then you're going to want to cast a Eroga on yourself. Yeah, like that, and stop. Then you're going to want to use Ragnarok, and then follow up by spamming your attack. Then you're going to want to use Ragnarok again, and spam your attack, and so on and so forth. The way that the pink Agarigus works is that the more hits you get, the more likely you are to get the Serenity Power to spawn. I, however, do not get it in this time, and I think you need at least 40 hits for it to spawn at all. Okay, so up next is the Black Fungus, and they will drop Mystery Goo, and we're going to need 10 of them. Now, Mystery Goo is probably the hardest synthesis material you get in the entire game, and they can be dropped by, I believe, all of the Mushroom Heartless. However, this is the method that I find to be the easiest in order to get Mystery Goo. Now, it is important that you remove all aerial combat abilities except for Hurricane Blast and Combo Master. That is very, very crucial. You also want to equip as many critical pluses as possible, which includes equipping the Wishing Star Keyblade, which is Pinocchio's key. As well as this is also the Heartless synthesis material farming that requires Bambi, or that I would definitely recommend getting Bambi for. You'll see what that is in just a second. There you can see I am equipping the Wishing Star Keyblade, and I'm about to show you that you need to have Bambi. Very, very crucial. Now what you're going to want to do is come out of Aladdin's house and go into this room right outside the bazaar. Once you get in here, if your command deck has gone red, it means they have spawned, so immediately switch to Bambi and summon her. This will remove all... Actually, is Bambi a boy? It might be a boy. Anyway, once you summon Bambi, this will remove Donald and Goofy, which is basically why we're doing it, to get them out of the way and make this much, much easier. So how I believe the Black Fungus works is that if you get a critical hit on them, they will drop Mystery Goo, as you just saw right there. So our method is to jump after targeting them, jump above them, attack twice, and then in our third attack we should do the Hurricane Blast, which should hit them in the head and give us a critical hit, and will hopefully give us Mystery Goo. However, it is not guaranteed, so it may take you quite a bit of farming. As I did say, this is probably the hardest item for me to get in the game regarding farming. Out of all of the special Heartless, this is the one that I found most challenging. Okay, so now that the special Heartless are done, let's get on to the regular Heartless, and I'm going to do it world by world. First up, we have Traverse Town with the bright crystals. We're going to need 4 of them dropped by defenders. They can be located in the hotel hall. Okay, so up next are Search Ghosts. They are located in the green room of the hotel and drop bright gems, of which we are going to need 8 in order to synthesize everything. Next, we have the Wyverns, which drop power crystals. We're going to need 3 of them. They're located right here in District 2. They are actually located pretty much everywhere in Traverse Town, but as you can see, there's 3 there, there's 1 there, there's 2 up by the Gizmo shop, there's a couple inside the Gizmo shop, but I don't think I show those. No, I don't. Can confirm, I do not show those. Okay, so up next are Dark Balls, and Dark Balls drop Lucid Crystals, and we're going to need 9 in total. They can be found in basically every world in the game, but I recommend to farm them in the Gizmo shop of Traverse Town. This is because a lot seem to spawn here. Lastly, for Traverse Town, we need shiny crystals, which are dropped by wizards. We're going to need 3 of them. Wizards are located basically everywhere in the game, so it's completely fine. I prefer here. After you defeat your 3 defenders, 4 will spawn. Easy place to farm for them. No problemo. Okay, so moving on to Wonderland, we're going to be farming Lucid Shards, which are dropped by both Shadows and Giga Shadows. They are located in the Bazaar room on the floor, and you will know if they have spawned, as the command deck will turn red when you first enter the room. Okay, so up next are the air soldiers, and they are located in the exact same place, but the only difference is that the command deck will remain blue once you enter, as opposed to changing red. They drop spirit gems, and we're going to need 7 of them in total. Next up we have both blue Raspides and yellow Operas, which drop Frost Shards and Thunder Shards, which we're going to need 10 of and 12 of respectively. So 10 Frost Shards, 12 Thunder Shards. They are located in the Lotus Forest. As you can see, I've put them together because they are basically everywhere. There's a ton of them. Should be very, very easy for you to get. Green Requiems are located at the cliff in Deep Jungle. They drop Bright Shards, and we are going to need 13 in total. Next up we have the Power Shards. We're going to need 13 of them. They are dropped by Bouncing Wilds and Power Wilds, which are basically just the monkeys. They are located everywhere. I like this place right outside of the tent in the campsite. There's a couple there. Not too problematic. Next up we are heading to Agrabah, where we can get Spirit Shards. We're going to need 10 in total, and they are dropped by both large bodies and soldiers. Now this area right outside of Aladdin's house is basically where they spawn. Very, very easy. Spirit Shards, not too big of a deal. Hot spiders are located all throughout both Agrabah and Monstro. They will drop Mythril Shards, and we're going to need a total of 12 Mythril Shards in order to synthesize everything we need to. Lastly, for Agrabah, we're going to be farming both bandits and fat bandits, or 10 blaze gems. They can be located all throughout the cave, but here I'm showing you my recommended route. Heading to Atlantica now for Frost Gems. Now we need 10 of these, and they are dropped by Sea Neons and Sheltering Zones. Those are these weird jellyfish looking ones. I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same. Sheltering Zones are just the big ones, and Sea Neons are the smaller looking ones. Located right here in Triton's Palace. And in the exact same place, we're going to get Thunder Gems. Now we're going to need 13 in total, and they are dropped by both Screwdrivers and Aqua Tanks. Now Aqua Tanks are basically the big shark things, and Screwdrivers are the weird little guys with the harpoons that you just saw me kill one of them, or 2 of them I think. Next time I see one I'll point them out. Those things that are attached to that's the Aqua Tank, and then the 2 guys next to it that I'm about to kill right now, that's a Screwdriver. Heading into Halloween Town, we need Lucid Gems, and we need 13 of them. They are dropped by both Gargoyles and White Knights. Now, White Knights are found basically everywhere in Halloween Town, and Gargoyles are only found in the graveyard, which is where I am now. As you can see, I've got a few White Knights to spawn. I don't think I got any Gargoyles to spawn, but This is where I'd recommend farming Lucid Gems if you need to. Pirates and air pirates both drop power gems. We're going to need to find 11 of them, and they are located all over Neverland. Next, we're going to need 12 blade shards, which are dropped by red nocturnes. And lastly, both angel stars and invisibles drop gales in the end of the world, and we are going to need 8 gales in total. That's it for farming Heartless. However, I do still need to go over dark matter and Orichalcums. Okay, so now that we've talked about farming Heartless for specific synthesis materials, there are actually 3 synthesis materials that we can obtain by doing lots of different things. So we're going to go over those right now. First up is dark matter, and we're going to need 14 of them. We can get them by completing the Pegasus time trial, completing the 3rd jungle slider minigame, doing the yellow trinity in Neverland, the white trinity in Chamber 6 of Monstro. There's one in a chest at the Tea Party Place in Wonderland, one in a chest at Agrabah Main Street, one in a chest in Graveyard, one in a chest in the Bouncing Spot, one in a chest in the Waterway, one in the chest at the Great Hall, and one in the chest at the Giant Crevasse. But once we've done all those, we'll still be short by 3, which we can obtain by doing synthesis. Okay, so up next is Mythril, and we're going to need 17 of them. You can get these by completing the Bouncing Spot Torn page, doing the Pegasus Cup solo, rescuing 51 puppies, collecting 5 postcards, opening the clam in the Undersea Valley. There's another clam below deck. You can cast fire on the campfire at Pooh's house. In the Bouncing Spot Torn page, there's a log you can crack open and there's a chest inside. There's a green trinity at the Colosseum. There's a chest in the green room, a chest at the Tea Party, a chest at the Treehouse, a chest at Jungle Vines, a chest at Waterfall Cavern, a chest at Agrabah Main Street, a chest at Relic Chamber, a chest at Chamber 5 of Monstro, a chest at Chamber 6 of Monstro, a chest at Ursula's Lair, a chest at the Clock Tower when the clock says 6 AM, a chest at the base level, and a chest at the library. And lastly guys, we have the Orichalcums, which we're going to need 19 of. You can collect them by completing the Muddy Path Torn page, completing the Hercules Cup solo, rescuing 72 puppies, completing the first 2 Jungle Slider minigames, collecting 8 postcards, collecting all 5 rare nuts for Owl in the Bouncing Spot Torn page, examining a pot at the Colosseum after completing the Hades Cup, doing the Yellow Trinity in Neverland, doing the White Trinity in Traverse Town, doing the White Trinity in the Deep Jungle, doing the White Trinity in Atlantica. There are also ones located in chests at the Lotus Forest, the Waterfall Cavern, the Undersea Gorge, the Clock Tower when the clock says 1 AM, the Clock Tower when the clock says 9 AM, the Lift Stop, Castle Gates, and the Great Chest, the Great Crest even, but by far the easiest way of getting them is by buying them from Huey, Dewey and Louie at the item shop in Traverse Town. And there we go guys, that is a complete synthesis guide for Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix. Subscribe for some more Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 content, follow me on Twitter at the official KGN, and I will see you in the next one where we're going to be taking on the first optional boss, Kurt Ziza.